Students, I am Abhishek and I have prepared this video lecture for chapter number 2, Business Studies, Principles of Management. Today we are going to cover 3 topics. First one is Henry Fayol's background information. Second one is his major contribution, and third, the most important one, Fayol's 14 Principles of Management. So, first one is background information. Henry Fayol. He was a French mining engineer, author and director of mines. He developed general theory of business administration. Okay, he was a French mining engineer and author and director of mines. He developed general theory of business administration. He was an economist, business person, entrepreneur, engineer, writer, geologist, and scientist. He is widely acknowledged as the founder of modern management method. So he was the first person to find the modern management method, which is being considered today in management studies. So we are going to see now his major contributions. First of all, he made a clear distinction between technical and managerial skills. See, students, technical skills and managerial skills both are different kind of skills. Both are not the same. Technical skills are related with the technology and the techniques, and managerial skills are related with management and management functions. Okay, so he identified the main steps in the process of management which are considered as the major function of management. So this was a person who identified the major steps. Those steps of management are planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. He was the first person to identify these 5 points. Okay, he formulated 14 principles of management which are considered as a guideline for manager to perform managerial activities. See, he formulated at least 14 principles of management which are considered as guidelines or general guidelines for manager to perform their managerial activities. Means these 14 points or 14 principles are the basic things of management. Now we are going to see the 14 principles one by one. The first one is division of work principle. According to it, work should be divided among individuals and groups to ensure that efforts and attentions are focused on special portions of the task. See, here it is made clear that the work should be divided among individuals which are going to perform the particular work. Here, a single person is not considered as for all the works. Work is divided among individual according to their skills, according to their ability. Okay. According to Henry Fayol, work specialization is the best way to use the human resources of the organization. In any organization, human resources are present. Human resources, the talented professional people who are working in the organization, they are called as human resources, and these people carry out the different activities of the organization for the production process. So the division of work principle is the best principle to carry out the managerial functions of the organization. Okay, now we are going to see the second one, authority and responsibility. First one is responsibility. Responsibility involves being accountable and is therefore naturally associated with authority. Responsibility means आपका जो जिम्मेदारी है वो है ना, and authority means आपका अधिकार, आपका जो powers है वो. So we are going to see this. According to Fayol, there must be a balance between authority and responsibility. These two things should be balanced. Okay, excess of authority without matching responsibility may mean bringing out negative result. See, if any person has given too much authority and he has not given enough responsibility, then he could create problems in the organization. He could create problem for other people also. Third one is discipline. A successful organization requires the common efforts of workers Penalties should be applied judiciously to encourage the common effort. See, in any organization there are certain rules and regulations which are made to achieve the goal of the organization. Okay, so every worker should follow these rules, every employee should follow these rules, and those who are following should be encouraged, and those who are not following the rules and regulations should be discouraged. And how will they be discouraged? Due to penalty. Discipline is the sincerity and obedience towards organizational rules and regulations, as these are necessary for the smooth functioning of an organization. If the workers or the employees are not following the rules and regulations of the organization, then how they are going to contribute in the development of the organization, and how they are going to achieve the organizational goals? So it is clear, without discipline it is not possible to carry out the smooth functioning of an organization and to achieve the organizational goal. So discipline should be must. Now the fourth is unity of command. Unity of command. You know what is command? If any person gives a command, means a set of instruction which should be followed. Okay, workers should receive order from one manager. An employee should receive order from one boss only, because if he is receiving order from more than one boss, then he will get confused and will not understand whose order to follow. So if there are workers in the organization and there are many managers of different departments, overhead manager, sales manager, this manager, that manager, so in any particular department worker should be receiving order from only one single manager. If he is receiving order from two different managers, he will be confused which one to follow and which one not to follow. Okay, this will create problem for him. Now we are going to see the unity of direction. Direction means the direction where we are proceeding, where all the people of the organization are proceeding in their work. So here one unit means one plan. If there are multiple units in any organization, they should carry out a particular plan, not too many plans, otherwise they will not be successful. Okay, there should be one head and one plan for a group of activities having the same objective. Okay, if there is a particular unit, there should be only a single head of that unit, and there should be one plan which should be carried out by the unit. The entire organization should be moving towards a common objective in a common direction. Okay, so in any organization there should be a common objective for all the units. There should be a common objective towards which they should be moving. Okay, now the sixth point, subordination of individual interest to general interest. Here we are visualizing two different things. First one is individual interest. Individual interest is the interest of the individuals which are working in the organization. Okay, individual interest may be different. Manager is having another type of individual interest, and the workers are having different individual interests. So it doesn't matter, but it should not be greater than the general interest, which is in this point. The interest of one person should not take priority over the interest of the organization as a whole. Okay, manager must focus on organizational interest rather than his personal interests. So here a point is also for the manager, that they should not promote their personal interest on behalf of general interest. The employees having their diverse individual interest should integrate their efforts to achieve organizational objectives. As we are watching here, there are different kinds of employees in the organization, so they all are having different individual interests, but that doesn't matter, but they should take step to achieve the organizational objectives. Seventh one is remuneration. Remuneration of persons. So remuneration term is related to payment, salary, consideration. Okay, how the salary, the payment should be considered. See, Many variables such as cost of living, supply of qualified personnel, general business condition, and success of business should be considered in determining a worker's rate of pay. Means in order to prepare the salary of a worker, of an employee, what conditions we should consider in an organization. So there are certain points which should be considered before creating the salary of a person. It should be fair and reasonable. I'm telling you, suppose there is an organization, it is earning enough profit, surplus profit, and it is still giving its employee a very less salary, then that is not fair. This point is mentioned in this 7th point. Now we are going to see centralization and decentralization. These 2 points are very diverse in nature. See, concentration of decision making authority is called as centralization. Means if the decision making authority is concentrated in a particular place, that will be called as centralization. Everybody should follow the instructions that are being sent to them from this particular concentrated point. See, if a person is having authority in any organization, he is suppose the boss. He is giving instruction to all sort of individuals and workers of the organization. So if the decision making powers are concentrated into this person, this is called a centralization. Whereas its dispersal among one then more person is called as decentralization. See, if the power is not concentrated in a single person, but it is distributed in different individuals, then this is called as decentralization. Both of the things are necessary in any organization, centralization and decentralization. Centralization, the power contained within the authority, the boss of the organization. And decentralization is the power which is given to the subordinate, to assistant managers, to foremen, or to supervisors. That is called as decentralized power. Okay, there should be a balance between these two powers for effective management. 9.1 Principle of scalar chain. Here the spelling of principle is little bit wrong, but you should know that this is wrong. You can correct it while you make the notes. So now we are going to see the formal line of authority from highest to lowest ranks are known as scalar chains. There are different authorities in any organization: boss, then manager, and then subordinates. So you can see A, B, D, F, A, C, E, G. These two are different branches, and they are containing the same individual person A, which is their boss. So there is a different hierarchy. Organization should have a chain of authority and communication that runs from top to bottom and should be followed by the managers and the subordinates. Gangplank should be used in emergency situation. See, we can see there are two different branches of people. First one is the A, boss of the whole organization, and this one B is subordinate to A, C is also subordinate to A, likewise D is subordinate to B, and E is subordinate to C, F is subordinate to D, and G is subordinate to E. So there are different levels of people working together in this place. So this is a formal structure in which organization has to run. All the authorities and managers and workers should follow this type of chain, scalar chain. Okay, gangplank is I think horizontal communication between the same level individuals. So if there is an emergency situation, then gangplank should be used, but not in ordinary situation. Next one is principle of order. People and materials must be in suitable places at appropriate time for maximum efficiency it will lead to maximum productivity and efficiency of the organizational activities. See, every person and everything should be in its place, otherwise chaos and disorder will be dominating in that organization, and that will reduce the efficiency of the organization. हर चीज़ एक सही जगह पे और हर व्यक्ति सही जगह पे होना चाहिए, अदरवाइज ये प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर देगा. ओके, नाउ 11 इज द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इक्विटी. From equity here we means equality of all the people. So fairness to all employees who should be treated as fairly as possible. सभी लोगों को एक समान और एक अच्छा व्यवहार उनके साथ किया जाना चाहिए. Okay, according to Fayol, this principle emphasizes kindliness and justice in the behavior of manager towards worker. They will ensure loyalty and devotion. अगर लोगों के साथ सही व्यवहार नहीं किया गया या किसी के साथ भेदभाव वाला व्यवहार किया गया तो इससे क्या होगा, लोगों के अंदर उस संस्था के प्रति डिवोशन नहीं रहेगा, उस संस्था के प्रति जो है वो लॉयलिटी उनके अंदर नहीं पाया जाएगा. सो ये प्रिंसिपल भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. नेक्स्ट है स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ टेनर ऑफ पर्सनल. टेनर मतलब होता है एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड, है ना. So in this we can see employee turnover should be minimized to maintain organizational efficiency. Means to say that कि बार बार एम्प्लॉयज़ को ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में भर्ती करना और बार बार निकालना, उसको क्या करना चाहिए, हमको मिनिमाइज करना चाहिए. अगर एम्प्लॉयज़ आपके किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में स्टेबल नहीं रहेंगे तो वहाँ का जो काम है ठीक तरीके से नहीं हो पाएगा. पर्सनल शुड बी सिलेक्टेड एंड अपॉइंटेड आफ्टर ड्यू एंड रिगोरस प्रोसीजर. मतलब कि जो कैंडिडेट्स को हम सेलेक्ट कर रहे हैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, उनको एक अच्छे प्रक्रिया के थ्रू हमको सेलेक्ट करना चाहिए, है ना. उनको अच्छे से उनको जांच परख के उनको सेलेक्ट करना. वंस सेलेक्टेड दे शुड बी केप्ट एट देयर पोस्ट एंड पोजीशन फॉर मिनिमम फिक्स टेनर. एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम उनके उस पोस्ट के लिए हमको रखना चाहिए कि कितने साल तक या कितने महीनों तक ये इस पोस्ट में रहेंगे. उसके बाद या तो उनका प्रमोशन होगा या तो वो उनको और किसी दूसरी जगह भेजा जाएगा. दे शुड हैव स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ टेनर. उनका जो पोस्ट है वो स्टेबल रहना चाहिए, उसको हमको इधर उधर नहीं करना है. एनी एडहॉकिज्म इन दिस रिगार्ड विल क्रिएट इनसिक्योरिटी अमंग एम्प्लॉयज़. एडहॉकिज्म का मतलब होता है कि एक टेम्पररी जॉब पीरियड, इसको हम एडहॉकिज्म बोलते हैं. कई इंस्टीट्यूट्स में आप देखोगे, जैसे पॉलिटेक्निक हो गया या किसी सरकारी संस्था में, कि कई सारे एडहॉक एम्प्लॉयज़ वहाँ काम करते हैं, या जिनको हम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बेस्ड एम्प्लॉय भी बोल सकते हैं, जो कुछ समय तक वहाँ पे काम करते हैं, जैसे 1 साल हो गया या फिर 6 महीने हो गया. तो इस टाइप के वहाँ पे कंडीशन नहीं रहना चाहिए. अगर उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में या संस्था में एडहॉकिज्म जैसा कोई कंडीशन हुआ तो वहाँ पे कोई काम करना नहीं चाहेगा और लोग सोचेंगे कि वहाँ काम करने से अच्छा है कि किसी और स्टेबल जगह में अप्लाई किया जाए. तो अब नेक्स्ट है इनिशिएटिव. इनिशिएटिव मतलब होता है कि जो पहल, जो स्टेप हम लोग लेते हैं अपने खुद के रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी से, जो हम लोग कदम उठाते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज इनिशिएटिव. इनिशिएटिव मीन्स टेकिंग द फर्स्ट स्टेप विद सेल्फ मोटिवेशन. इट इज़ थिंकिंग आउट and executing the plan. Initiative should be encouraged to develop and carry out their plans for the improvement. मतलब कि जो एम्प्लॉयज़ है उनको हमको इनकरेज करना चाहिए कि यदि संस्था में सुधार करने के लिए वो कोई इनिशिएटिव लेते हैं तो वो अच्छा है. नेक्स्ट देखते हैं अपन लोग. सबऑर्डिनेट शुड बी गिवन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू टेक इनिशिएटिव इन मेकिंग एंड एग्जीक्यूटिंग द प्लान्स. जो सबऑर्डिनेट है, जैसे कि जो मैनेजर के अंडर में जो लोग हैं, उनके जो डाउन के जो एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं उनको भी इनकरेज करना चाहिए कि वो अच्छे प्लान्स बना सके और उनको एग्जीक्यूट कर सके, ताकि हमारा जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उसमें सुधार हो सके और उसमें डेवलपमेंट हो सके. सबऑर्डिनेट्स विद इनिशिएटिव शुड बी इनकरेज विद इन द लिमिट्स ऑफ अथॉरिटी एंड डिसिप्लिन. हमको ये भी देखना है कि जो इनिशिएटिव लिया जा रहा है वो डिसिप्लिन के दायरे में रहे और अथॉरिटी के अंदर में रहे. उसको अथॉरिटी से बाहर निकल के इनिशिएटिव नहीं लेना है ना. नेक्स्ट और लास्ट वन है एस्पिरिट डे कॉर्प्स. इसका ये जो है आपका ये लैटिन वर्ड है स्पिरिट डे कॉर्प्स. स्पिरिट मतलब एक फीलिंग, एक भावना, है ना. इट रिफर्स टू टीम स्पिरिट. टीम की जो स्पिरिट है उसके लिए, कि एक लोगों के अंदर एक फीलिंग आना चाहिए कि हम एक टीम की तरह काम कर रहे हैं. मैनेजर मस्ट टेक इनिशिएटिव to develop a sense of belonging among the member of work group. This principle emphasizes the need for a teamwork. मतलब कि उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में लोगों को अपने आप को एक टीम समझ के काम करना है, अलग थलग होकर काम नहीं करना है. अगर अलग थलग होकर काम करेंगे तो लोगों में एकता नहीं आएगी. ओके. It facilitates the development of an atmosphere of mutual trust and understanding among the employees and minimizes the need to use penalties for default. तो ऐसा करने से क्या होता है कि जब लोगों को के अंदर एक एकता की भावना या एक टीम स्पिरिट आ जाती है तो लोग सोचते हैं कि हम अपने लिए काम कर रहे हैं, मीन्स हम पूरे एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एक यूनिटी की तरह काम कर रहे हैं. तो उसमें वो लोग बहुत कम मिस्टेक करते हैं और वो लोग रिस्पॉन्सिबल होके काम करते हैं, और रिस्पॉन्सिबल होके काम करते हैं तो उनको वो लोग कोई मिस्टेक नहीं करते हैं, उससे पेनल्टी का कोई चांस नहीं आता है. तो ये था आपका चैप्टर 2 का हेनरी फेयल का प्रिंसिपल. इसमें कुछ मिस्टेक है, अगर आपको लगता है कि कुछ इसमें मिस्टेक है तो आप उसको करेक्ट कर सकते हैं. कहीं कहीं पे स्पेलिंग्स में मिस्टेक है, कहीं कहीं पे कुछ जैसे कि लेटर्स हैं ए एंड द, ये सब आपके मिसिंग है. तो उसमें कोई खास आपको इशू नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज यू आर सीनियर स्टूडेंट्स of class 12th and you have gone through all the grammar and all those things in your classes. So this was my video lecture, and while listening to this you can also prepare notes. Thank you.